It's me, Orlando. We about to dissect One Piece 986. My name. We start out with the best cover story in One Piece. My guy Pound and Capone, the Beiji family. What do we think? What do you feel about this?
I think the only way that Chiffon and Lola can actually believe that Pony's their dad is if they got confirmation from Big Mom. So maybe Oda is insinuating that they're gonna meet Big Mom again. But this is very, very sad. Like, we never expected this to go this way at all. And if anyone say that they did, you're definitely lying. No one expected this.
No.
Oh, that is a troll.
Absolutely not. Like, cause, bro, if they really leave him, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, that's pretty sad.
Like, what the hell is this? Like, what is going on? What is the point of it? What was the point of it all? And
of course, the symbolism kind of contradictory because they're saying I love family on the sails. leaving family behind. leaving family behind.
Oh my god, that's funny as hell.
It's kind of weird because the only person actually saw Pound sacrifice him, at least. Well, I couldn't say a sacrifice,
Pez, right?
But yeah, Pez, yeah, and he's too young to really,
he can't really
confirm anything. Yeah. But this is pretty sad. It is very, very sad.
Yeah, it is like, come on, what's happening here?
Exactly, what is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where it's gonna go, but this has been a very, very long cover story.
It is.
Like, so I'm curious as to like where exactly it's gonna go from here, because I'm like, bro, I'm ready for it to be done.
It is. Let me ask you, do you think it's kind of weird that Capone have been in Big Mom territory for so long? He actually doesn't know Pound.
Let me think. Is that weird?
He's been there for a year and something.
For over a year and doesn't know Pound. Well, Big Mom, they said after Big Mom has the babies, she kind of discards them. Yeah. So I feel like Pound was not like where he wasn't in. He was kind of like an outcast. Yeah. So, he wasn't like, with the family and all that. So for Capone, he's not going to know every single random member of the Big Mom family. And for him, he's not even a member of the family.
No, he's not. But where we met him in the Seducing Woods. Remember that Capone and Kid and Apu and Uruj went to the Seducing Woods. It is arguable that he could have met Pound, but again, it makes sense because Pound isn't really a permanent member of the family. He's just more of a sperm donor.
Yeah, he's just there. He's just another husband for Big Mom. And I'm sure she didn't. That wasn't like publicized.
Yeah, but I'm eager to see where this goes because I don't get it at all. What's Oda planning here? Because this just, oh god, this is sad.
What is Oda planning? Bro, with Pound, I think best case scenario is that Pound talks to them about Big Mom's plans. I don't know how the hell he would know, but the best case scenario is if they end up in Wano.
That's the best case scenario. I think they have to confront Big Mom to for her to confirm that Pound is really their dad.
Yeah,
that's the only way they can believe it.
Right. So unless they go there, because I'm not sure what Capone is going to do, but for Capone, Wano would be the perfect place for him to go because we have two Yonko there, and Capone he's kind of drawn to people to take the heads, the leaders' heads, right? And there are a lot of big wigs in Wano. So he could go to Wano and he could definitely try to take a bunch of heads because if there are Big Mom pirates there, the Beast pirates there, that'll be the best place for him to go. So I think that's best case. Them getting to Wano.
Yep. So hopefully Oda does have a good idea in mind because if not, oh god, this will be sad for Pound.
I'm not sure exactly where we're going to. Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly where we're going with this, and for Pound, damn.
Yeah, I mean, Pound is very. I mean, I liked him a lot in Wano. I think now because of him just being back, a lot of people aren't feeling it.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So I think right now, it's not even his fault. Of course, it's kind of just Oda, being a troll or whatever. But I mean, bro, at this point, it is what it is, bro. I'm just like ready for this cover story to just be over.
All right, then we can move on to Onigashima.
All right, so it starts off with Kinemon, Denjiro. They're approaching the area where the Scabbards were fighting Kanjuro, and Kanjuro, it's implied, or is trying to imply, that he's dead.
So I would say this. From the very beginning, the matchup didn't make any sense. There's no way Kanjuro really think he could have beat all of them by himself. Pretty weird. That's pretty weird. So I'm assuming he went there just to taunt them about Momonosuke being executed. He
did mention that he's trying to buy time.
Yeah. Oh god. And again, Kanjuro competence take a hit in this chapter as well, because we learned by Kaido's reaction at the end that he didn't tell them about Denjiro being Kiyoshiro. Remember we were saying that maybe he was interrupted by Fugoku Rojo and he was going to say it at a different time. Seemed like he never told him. So could that be his last gift to the Scabbards? I mean, how do you interpret that? Are just like Oda just forgot?
There's no way you forget something that huge.
Exactly. That would be like
I'm trying to understand though. What did Kaido say?
Okay, so at the end he said that you're Kiyoshiro. And he had a shock face.
Oh, Kaido said that?
Yeah. Is that you, Kiyoshiro?
Hold on.
At the very end. The chapter, the page before they jump on it.
Is that you, Kiyoshiro? Oh, he did say that.
He did say that. So he didn't know that Kiyoshiro was actually with the...
Was that Kaido saying that? Scabbard. That's definitely Kaido, right?
Yeah, it was Kaido. Is that you, Kiyoshiro? With a question mark there.
Well...
So it's kind of confirming that Kanjuro didn't report
the thing is, because if he did tell him, what would the dialogue be different? Like, if he knew, isn't him still kind of like confirming it by saying, you know what I mean?
Well, it makes sense because Kiyoshiro wear a different hairstyle, so okay, it could make sense,
right? Where he's like, "Is that you, Kiyoshiro?"
But the reason why I'm kind of convinced that he never told him about Kiyoshiro was because of how easily Sasaki got deceived by Kiyoshiro. If he'd have told him about Kiyoshiro, Kaido would have contacted the Flying Six and reported that news.
But I was just, you're right. They shouldn't. But the Sasaki thing, I believe that was taking place at the same time. It was, you know what I mean? Like the timing with that is weird.
The timing was the same, yeah.
But we never saw Kaido or anyone, King, contact the Flying Six and say, hey, be careful of Kiyoshiro because he's a traitor. That's never been shown. So I think I'm on your side with that.
I said most of the evidence pointed for that he never told him, which again, it just damages competency in my opinion, because that's a big information not to tell Kaido and Orochi. That's huge. Yeah.
Hopefully we get some more exposition on why he didn't tell them something that huge, because that's a pretty big deal.
It is a pretty big deal because again, Sasaki might have been saved.
Yeah,
he could have been on guard.
Remember we read the scans. People were looking at the page with all the guys on the ground. I was like, yo, is that Sasaki?
No, I see very clear. No, it doesn't look like Sasaki. No, it looks.
It's not Sasaki.
But it would have been funny if it was.
It would have been hilarious if it was Sasaki.
It would have been funny. It would have been funny.
But yeah, this moment with the flashback. Well, they give us a flashback with all the Scabbards. Them just having a good time, and it's they're trying to make you understand why Kiku's crying, why Raizo is crying, why it's like, even though they found a traitor and they killed him, why it's overall a sad tone.
It is
because they're killing a friend, somebody that they spent a lot of time with, somebody they bled with, they ate with, everything. So this hurt for them. It's really hurt.
I'm thinking of it this way: Kanjuro been a traitor in their eyes for like a couple hours, but he's been a friend for about 20 years. Yeah, that's a long time to come. That's a long time to come from just to find out that someone's a traitor and then lose feelings for them.
Yeah, you don't lose that overnight.
Yeah, you don't lose that overnight. So I do understand the crying and the tears. But what I don't understand is when did Kiku portray to be this strong, where she can beat Kanjuro? Do you ever get that vibe from Kiku that she was that strong?
Not really, but I feel like it was for Kiku, it always seemed like it was a confidence thing.
Well,
where
okay.
she was capable, because you know how Zoro is, where in some ways Zoro, he's a good motivator, very good actually, where he sometimes he prepares you, like, and he puts you in a mindset that you didn't think you could get to. Because I just saw one with Chopper, when Chopper in the Davy Back arc.
Yep, and he's saying to be a man.
He told him to be a man about it, and then he Chopper just he changed really quick. He's like, all right, you know what? Because that's Zoro's really good at that. And for Kiku, Zoro's like, no, I'm not gonna save you. You can do it yourself. You know what I mean? So I think for Kiku, of course, with Izo being there, being around the people, and something like this, I feel like Kiku would definitely step up. So I don't think Kiku was ever viewed as weak. She was always just I would say very timid and unsure of herself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how I kind of viewed Kiku.
Well, it's kind of surprising to me because so far throughout the flashback and the current story, Oda made a point to show that only about 3 or 4 of the Scabbards are really competent. He highlighted Denjiro, who when Oden left, went off on his own to gather money, and was also beating up people to get money as well. He highlighted Ashura Doji, being the leader of the Yakuza for the Kuri. And he highlighted Kawamatsu, who stopped the counterattack and Akika on Toki. Counterattack on Toki that saved her, and she got shot in the foot. Yeah. And highlighted Inarashi as well. He never gave Okiku that much spotlight. So seeing her completing a feat that we assumed is very great, because again, when Kanjuro became the traitor and he started acting competent, there were noise that he might be the strongest Scabbard. There were arguments about that he possibly could be up there with
because his power is completely changed.
Yeah, exactly. You never get the impression that he could have been beaten by anyone aside from the top 3, which is Denjiro, Kawamatsu, or Ashura Doji. And to see Okiku, someone that Oda didn't really highlight that much, just came out of nowhere and just beat him. It's like, did we underestimate her or did we overestimate Kanjuro?
I think I think it's a bit of both, maybe, but we have to see what exactly happened. Because you think Kiku just soloed him by herself?
Most likely.
It's implied.
Well, it's implied because her sword was running with blood
by the end of the last chapter. Yeah, so the anime is definitely going to give us a scene, though. So
they're going to give us a scene, but again, this speaks to a bigger issue where the Scabbard's powers are somewhat undefined, and it seems like at any point Oda can make them stronger than what they're shown to be, or weaker than we're shown to be. Because again,
I think that's a part of Oda's, quote unquote writing genius, because he leaves enough, it's vague enough to the point that you cannot definitively say this person is this strong, this person is this weak, because something about Kinemon they were mentioning. Well, Kinemon, one of the abilities we saw from him was the ability to cut fire. We have not, like, his fire, like, we haven't seen that. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, it's a lot there to be desired with the Scabbards, because even Kawamatsu, while he was in jail, was like, yo, that one is different. He's really strong. Kanjuro casually, he was able to stop him, evade him, all that. We haven't seen Kawamatsu do much of anything, but he is heralded as being very strong, and he's a fishman. So if Kawamatsu defeats Sasaki, it's no surprise.
Well, in Kawamatsu's case, as I said, prior to going to prison, he did have the feat. If I said before, him and young Inarashi handled an entire counterattack by Orochi. So that was great. He did have those type of feats. You also have to remember that he survived 13 years of poison.
Yep.
So he had moments that he could point to in case he does something very impressive. Okiku didn't have anything prior to this except for cutting hair.
Yeah.
That's why it's like he went from cutting Yakuza not here to completely just killing one of the persons that we perceive to be very, very strong.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, that's the thing. Scabbards, I'm not sure exactly how strong they are. Yeah. It's vague.
I don't know if you heard the argument about people saying that they're relative. I'm not really certain about that because I could see a big difference between.
There should be a huge gap between Ashura, Denjiro,
Doji, and Raizo. Like there should be a huge gap between Ashura, Doji, and Raizo.
It should be a significant gap between those guys.
I don't think they're relative in strength at all. I think some of them are relative in strength.
The ones that jump forward, they should be weaker than the ones that stayed behind.
Exactly. I know Kiku jumped forward.
Did she?
Yeah, she jumped forward. She
jumped forward and she stayed. Yeah, she stayed.
No, she jumped forward.
She jumped forward and she stayed in Wano.
She stayed in Wano, yes, yeah. and she became a waiter for the tea shop.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't train like some of the other characters, like, Ashura Doji.
She should be significantly weaker than Denjiro, Ashura Doji.
Exactly.
And even Kawamatsu.
So that's why these
and the minks too, honestly.
And that's what I'm saying. This it shocked me. It shocked me very well. I'm like, she actually beat him. But anyway, I'm not gonna try to.
It's not hard on it.
Take her the W. But there's one thing that I don't like. Again, I never liked this from the very beginning, and I still don't like it. Is Oda prioritizing seniority in the case of Kinemon over strength in the case of Ashura Doji?
Absolutely.
I don't think Kinemon should lead the group.
Well, bro, this whole scene with Kinemon and Denjiro is because they're the first two
exactly
to be with Oden. And also, who took care of Hiyori?
Denjiro.
Who took care of Momonosuke?
I see what you're saying.
You see what I mean?
I see what you mean.
So Oda is definitely just using those two as like, all right. And in the last panel as well, you see who are the two people right at the front that apparently impaled Kaido.
Oh, God, I don't again
those two,
and it comes at the expense of Ashura Doji's portrayal.
Even though it's weird because when we get to that, we'll talk about Ashura Doji because I feel like he has even more stake in saying the Snatchy because of what happened.
Born in Korea, and he was born in Korea, and it came from Korea.
We'll get to that. We'll get to all that. But all right, we have Izo and Kinemon. That whole thing there.
Yeah, and I think Izo is referring to Marineford and War.
Marineford and the Payback War.
Yeah, kind of makes sense. It kind of parallels what Ashura Doji said when he was speaking to the old lady at the very beginning of the arc, where he said that he missed his chance to die a glorious death.
Yeah.
It's kind of coming forward in terms of
Izo they're all saying that. Yeah, for Izo, I'm sure
being so calm is very surprising too. Shit.
The thing is with Izo, when I went back, I reread like some of the flashback. Izo he had more of a personality in the flashback.
Yes,
like he was the one that was kind of like the senior. I don't know. He was a serious person. But he was always, it seemed like he had a bit more personality. But again, Izo's been through a lot since then.
Yep.
Right? He's lost a lot of people, lost a lot of battles. So it's like, I understand the disposition. So it's like, even if things go really well here, at the end of the day, like everything is still in shambles in regards to what he was around for decades. So
exactly.
It makes sense that Izo is it's like a different person here as opposed to like when he was much younger.
And I'm not surprised that I'm not surprised that Izo meshed with the group so quickly after being away for like decades. Yeah. She does he does have the ability to adapt very quickly. Remember, he went to the Whitebeard shift for a small period of time and just became like one of them.
Yeah.
Easily. So I wouldn't be surprised if he meshed with the Scabbards way easier than what many people expect.
Absolutely.
Especially his fighting style, which is completely different from theirs.
He presents something that they don't have.
And that's what I think caught King off guard. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that when we get there because people want us to lash King really hard.
Yeah, that's another thing. Kaido and the Samurai and Fukurokuju, those guys. He's basically saying, hey, pick your side now.
Mm-hmm.
Kneel or die. Essentially. It's interesting. The pride of the samurai is a real thing.
It is.
But right now, the logical thing to do in the face of Kaido, King, Jack, Queen is to say, whatever. We are here to serve you.
Two things here. Fugo Kuroju. I'm surprised that people are surprised that he switched. People forgot that he was originally with Oden first.
He was
a Kozuki ninja before he turned to Orochi, and then he turned to Kaido here.
But one thing for him though, it seems like he's always on the side of who's in charge of Wano.
Exactly. Yes, he is.
And Kaido's trying to rid the world or rid Wano of its history. It seems like Kaido, he wants to just start anew. So and even in them swearing their allegiance, they still said the ninja force of Wano. And Hote says the samurai of Wano.
Yeah. So right? Nationalism is still there.
It's still there. That's why for me them switching now makes more sense. It's 10,000 people.
It is.
That's 10,000 people.
And I'm surprised 10,000 of only 2 leaders. Because Kaido's crew of a multitude of leaders.
So right now they have what, 30,000?
30,000. Yes, all on Kaido's side now.
And the alliance has 5.
5. Some of them got defeated early on because
but if
100 did an attack.
So they have 30, they have 5. If that 10 switch, right? Then they have 15, right?
Yes.
And then they have 20.
Yes.
And then how do we make up that 5?
Well, you can call it Grand Fleet if you want.
Possibly.
But the thing about it is that though, the numbers don't really matter in the case of depending on how strong they are. I think it's more about quality more than quantity.
I think so, but I feel like for Kaido's side, and it's shown with the whole Zoro panel, they are annoying because they're like undead soul, like they keep coming.
Those are the gifters though.
Yeah. So but that's who Zoro's fighting, right? Is he fighting gifters?
Yeah, he's fighting the gifters, and Killer as well.
Yeah, so it's like with Kaido, I feel like it's different than the regular like Marines because they have basically soldiers that they don't give a fuck about their body or anything, and they just keep coming. That's what the Minx mentioned as well.
Okay, you know? That's good. But we already saw the power of the ninja force of Wano, because remember when Zoro went to Enma Shrine?
Yeah,
and he defeated some ninja. It's those guys.
Yeah,
I mean, seem that competent in my opinion, because he defeated like a bunch of them.
When we saw Hote, we saw like a few people with him.
Yes,
and of course those are probably going to be like the commanders of, because he's a general, he's a captain. So I expect to see some other people that are competent as well. Where it'll be weird for them to stick on the side of Kaido. And then somebody also mentioned that them just being that easy to flip could be the deciding factor in the war. Because it's like, they're doing it now because that's the best thing to do, not that because they want to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
whoever had a better chance would most likely be able to recruit them then.
Right, because even after that, of course, the captains are going to be stoic and they're going to maintain that poker face. The Oniwabanshu and the samurai, they were like,
yeah, they're following it. You guys said, yeah, right? It is.
They were like, oh man.
Oh shit. This man's dead.
Right?
And also regarding Orochi, for those who think he's 100% dead, I would wait a little, because again,
we gotta wait.
Exactly. The process could be delayed and this takes some time. So I'll wait a little bit before I give a confirmation. But it's seeming that there's more evidence this chapter than ever before. Especially Shinobu's speech about him being more of a symptom, not the root cause, where Kaido is the root cause. Orochi's just like a guy who kind of controls.
Absolutely.
Orochi is someone that we could turn a blind eye to, but Kaido we couldn't. Yeah. So Oda's kind of reinforced that Kaido is the big evil.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's been the case, where Kaido, he's the person that could truly do something as opposed to Orochi.
The weird part is that I think Orochi deserved more credit, because remember, he was the one who invited Kaido to Wano country. Even though Kaido became bigger than him eventually, he was the one who brought him there. So he does deserve, he does deserve some credit for doing that.
He does, but the thing is, for Kaido, it's like, say Kaido wasn't there, right? If Orochi comes back, or once Oden comes back, he takes his country back.
Yeah, they've been dead immediately. Yeah. He could have been dead immediately.
You know, he takes his country back, so it's like.
But but one thing I could say though, Orochi looking for someone to co-lead with in terms of the fact that he joined Kaido. The time that he was looking for someone, it was the best time to find someone who was a part of Rocks. Remember, I think it was the exact same year or year before the Rocks Pirates started to look for different crews. Whitebeard, Big Mom. So there's no telling. Maybe he could have gotten somebody else. I know there was one guy that Oda showed the silhouette. I don't remember that guy when he showed on the Rocks Pirates moving.
Yeah.
We don't know who was available at that time, so maybe Kaido wasn't even the first choice. At that time, remember, Kaido was fighting with Gektomori. He wasn't that dominant as he is now.
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Especially the reputation of the guys that are coming from the Rocks Pirates, who were most like Kaido's his superiors, because he was a cabin boy there. So maybe Orochi kind of believed in Kaido as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Trust.
Yeah, Orochi, he's like we said before, he's been super dependent on Kaido.
And everyone, man. Everyone.
Yeah, it's always about what everybody else can do as opposed to himself. So it's almost fitting that this happened to him. It
is fitting. And this is very interesting. Yugoro is mad that he has no warrior pride, which makes sense. I mean, this is a man that gave up about 2 decades because he wouldn't serve Orochi or Kaido.
Yeah.
And because he was indebted to the Kozuki. And if you remember, he had a Kozuki symbol on his kimono. So he was a samurai, not just physically or in terms of his he's not a samurai just physically. Even the traditions he followed, like the entire system, he believes in the entire code. So it's no surprise that he's mad about this, which could serve as more incentive for him to be harder in the battle, because he's gonna be really pissed. Yeah.
I mean, it's and if he comes back and he's pissed and he turns on Kaido, then obviously the samurai, they're gonna switch right back. They're gonna switch right back to their side.
I don't doubt it at all. So Big Mom is being a bit reserved than what I expect her to be. You know, she's grabbing Nami and
but Big Mom is not even. Big Mom is a Yonko, right? Yeah. But in this setting, she's not the big boss here.
Nope.
Right? Like, the main antagonist, the main villain in this arc is Kaido.
By far.
Like,
not even close.
You know, Big Mom, she's there to kind of raise the tension and just show, kind of make it a more grandiose thing. But this is about Kaido. This is mostly about Kaido. Big Mom, she's kind of just thrown in there.
Yeah, one of the reasons why she might not get the respect that Kaido does, because many of the samurais wouldn't know about her. Because remember, New Zone travel inside of Wano from the outside, so they know Kaido, this big monster, but they might have no idea that this is Kaido's female equivalent.
Yeah.
If they knew that, they would have reacted the same way to her as they do to Kaido.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand who they're around. Like, they're casually in the vicinity of an emperor.
Of another emperor. Yeah, you gotta understand, like, just how much
they don't
political
even understand
power.
this how crazy that is.
It's insane. This is unlike anything that's ever happened.
It happened. I mean, there are people who invaded Hoki Island and never got to even see Big Mom.
You know what I'm saying? And like, so that's the thing. It for Big Mom, even in this chapter, right? Yeah. Kaido had several huge panels.
She only had like 2 or 3. yeah. Or like, making it very clear.
You know, she's just Kaido's the big baddie in this arc.
Yeah. What do you think about Shinobu becoming competent again? Because remember, she was a ninja that was pretty good in the flashback.
Back in the flashback, then she turned.
But then when we came to Wano country in current time, she was pretty shitty. She's afraid of knives or sharp objects. She can't hide.
Yeah.
But no, she's back to the competency. She got her own Big Mama company quite easily.
Yeah, it seems like she's back.
She's back. She's back.
It seems that way. Hopefully, it stays that way.
It stays that way.
Because Shinobu, when she's confident, she's really good. So,
bro, she's the one who got the Scabbard sword.
Yeah.
she fought in the war.
Yeah, we need her to stay the way she is. Stay competent, please.
She's a big asset when she's competent.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kaido, of course, Momonosuke. I think this is a very important dialogue that the scans got wrong. The scans imply that Kaido would have killed the people in the Flora capital, which I think was very, 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 very stupid. Because again, why would you kill a potential labor force when you want an island to be self-sufficient? So the Viz kind of reinforced that Kaido is speaking about their last night of freedom, not
killing,
last life,
not death.
Life. Yeah. So they're gonna be alive.
Kaido is going to imprison. Like they're just gonna be working in the factories.
Exactly. So it's gonna be like a big Oden. It's gonna be like a big Oden operation.
Yeah, that's what is gonna happen. So like enjoy your freedom now, but you're gonna be working
tomorrow.
Yeah,
like a weekend. Monday's coming. Yeah,
prepare for Monday.
And I think that's what the scan got wrong, because I was a bit skeptical. I'm like,
he gonna kill everybody? Why?
Make any sense? Why would you kill everyone? And for those who don't understand this, like, leaders are leaders because people are there to serve you. Without subordinates, you can't be a leader. If you kill everyone, you're not leading anyone but yourself. So it would be best in Kaido's interest to keep them alive and work them instead of killing them.
Yeah. So that is good that clarified.
Yeah, exactly. It's good that's the reason why we read the viz, man. That's the reason why I read the viz.
Momo, Oden, Kaido. There's a lot going on here.
A lot going on there.
Kaido has Oden PTSD.
He does. And you know, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Orochi's PTSD of Oden is more like interpreted in a sense of mockery. For Kaido's, it seems like it's interpreted a bit different by people around Kaido, where he talks about Oden and the Kozuki as much as Orochi did. Orochi talks about it, people laugh at him like, oh god, those people are dead a long time. But for Kaido, people call him honorable. You know, he's a nice guy. But if you really dig deep, Kaido is still scarred by Oden.
I think his legacy is forever tainted.
Yeah, because Oden a bit of debt than his.
You know,
that he wants to have.
Bro, even his own child
is inspired
by Oden. It's almost like a Naruto thing where Boruto is more inspired or looks up more to Sasuke than Naruto. You know?
Oh, wow, he does?
Yes.
I don't watch Boruto, so I have no idea.
Boruto said he wants to be a ninja like Sasuke.
That's crazy. Naruto probably
you know? So if you're Kaido, that shit, that is rough. And I think for Momonosuke, Kaido has so much, I think, respect for Oden. He's hard pressed to believe that this kid is his offspring. You know what I mean? So I think for Kaido, trying to have him relinquish his name, in some ways it's a test.
It is.
You know? But I think this runs deep for Kaido, man.
It does.
This really runs deep for Kaido. Because he even mentions Toki, and he tells him, I will let you live.
Not for a full apology.
And I will apologize.
That's crazy.
What? Exactly. Kaido?
Apologizing. I mean, this is the same man that killed the whole lady that helps him.
So my thing is like, this is some weird psycho, just deep rooted trauma.
I know he's very sure by Oden. But what I say about this though, bro, I think Kaido was a bit he was kidding. I think if Momonosuke actually didn't say he was Momonosuke, Kaido would have still killed him. Kaido been disappointed to see that Momonosuke weren't brave enough to kind of call his own name. I think Kaido was just gonna test him, like, if you don't say it, I'm gonna see that you're very weak.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's almost like it's like a setup either way.
Yeah, it's a lot of questions. Like either way you answer it, I'm probably gonna be mad.
But yeah. Yeah. Because I know that you are.
And exactly. I mean, he went there and took him.
Yeah, I know that you are Oden's kid, but like, I want to see what type of man you are. I want to see if you really have the mettle that your father had.
Yep.
So that's it's cool that Momonosuke kind of lived up to that name. You want to talk about Luffy and Yamato?
This is very, 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 very interesting. So Oda built up this idea for advanced ornament so much, and we get into he built up so much. We got the interpretation that hardening is a requirement for advanced Haki. You're taking your ornament Haki and flowing it through, and then he just breaks that because right now Luffy's using he's using advanced ornament Rio without using hardening. So I'm wondering if that's a mistake on Oda's part.
Not
where he
sure.
forgot to shade it in.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't, then Jesus Christ,
how fast is this kid growing?
Exactly, because right now I'll make the argument that Luffy hardening version of advanced ornament would be much stronger than one he's using right now.
Yeah, it should be. So him just casually doing this without hardening is like
is insane. It is crazy. And again, the timing is a bit perfect because Oda didn't want to waste the explosion. Wanted to use the explosion and something very important because when they exploded, Kaido was about to hit Momonosuke, so that kind of frees him up.
It was perfect.
It was perfect.
Perfect timing.
Which kind of explain why Oda didn't Luffy take it off much earlier.
Yeah. You waited and you waited for the perfect time. So
perfect time, which is good.
Yeah, good writing. Who's who?
Oh God.
What the hell?
I don't know. Who's like,
bro. He's like just noticing that fighting is going on the performance stage.
He's chasing his own tail. We're at this point. He was where he needs to be.
He was.
Team Luffy, Zoro, and Kid and Killer too low an accomplishment on the Yamato. While Yamato viewed Luffy as his fucking savior.
Right.
But and Uzu's actually where they are, and they are the exact same place that he was. And but the most impressive thing here is actually the ulti. She has no scars, which I don't know if Oda forgot to draw them or this is completely regeneration, but this is insane. She looks fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like she's just completely clear. I think this is on purpose to show that she's recovered.
She's recovered, but damn,
that's insane though.
That's insane. And again, Uzu's he's a very weird character. He wants to fight, but he's never where the fight is.
Right.
So I don't know if Oda's making it a gag because there've been plenty of opportunity for him to fight.
Oda's specifically saving this guy.
This guy for he is.
I don't know what the reason is. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a cool reveal, but he's saving this guy from any interaction with anyone.
Yep.
So this leads me to believe who's who
might be the strongest, or
might be the strongest.
Very important to show.
Yeah, there's a reason why he's saving who's who. And from the jump, even in comparison to Sasuke, who's who had just, it seems, more tenacity and some personal vendetta against the commanders, the All-Stars.
We can make the argument that Queen want to kill him too because Queen said he would take out someone.
I'm sure Queen feels it. I'm sure he feels that animosity. So keeping who's who away from the fighting is not surprising. Another person that we haven't seen, and we're right in the vicinity where she was, is Black Maria. Yeah,
so I'm assuming she didn't take Yamato's stuff seriously because there's implication that she could be Yamato's mom.
Yeah.
So maybe she doesn't really care about Yamato that much and she returned to the Pleasure Quarter.
Yeah.
Maybe she and Sanji would be in
Black Leg versus Black Maria.
Yeah, but other than that, I can't find a reason why she's not here because she was just with Kaido recently.
Exactly. So she's probably back in the Pleasure Quarter. More than likely.
Probably back there.
The Chopper and Frankie
I
stuff.
have a lot to say about this, man.
How do you feel about it? I have no real feelings about it, honestly.
Okay, so we're gonna see the numbers introduction through Usopp eyes, because again him the giants everything. Where Oda love to put Usopp and the giants some together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But this is something that I talked about a lot. This is the reason why I hate the idea of Frankie and Usopp upgrading Sanji's raid suit.
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on here is that both Usopp and Chopper is being competent, but the means that they're doing it by is a feat that goes to Frankie, because again, it's his armor.
Yeah.
Whatever they endure in that armor
It's because of
feat.
because of Frankie.
Exactly. And I hate the idea that people can benefit of other people's own intuition, because it gives them the feat, not the individual who uses the stuff to feat.
One could say that's the theme of the Straw Hats.
In a sense, but not for every character. I mean, Zoro doesn't get swords from Usopp or
Right, that's true. But Zoro contributes to Luffy's legacy a lot. As do Nami. Where like how Usopp the Klim attacked Zeus. Nami gets
sure.
Right? And I feel like for the Straw Hats, it's always been kind of exemplary how they support each other. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And the reason why I single out Usopp is because people assume that Usopp has a legacy to surpass, which is Yasopp. And he can't do that if he keeps using other people's stuff and their intuition. He needs to be able to be competent on his own.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
That's kind of my issue. Because
right now he's like, yo, just trusting the toughness of General Frankie.
Exactly. That's a Frankie feat. That's not to do with Usopp. He's not going to be in the tank forever, because Frankie need the tank to mount the General Frankie.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to be on his own.
At some point.
Oh, God.
He'll pull
and
through.
This takes away from the individual growth that he himself could be getting.
Yeah. I believe he'll pull through, though.
Yeah, but Brago, he needs to be quick. Because Yasopp will load if Usopp does his aura alone.
Yeah. Do you think he's ever going to get to that level?
I don't think so. Again, nope. His situation is in the same bracket as Zoro's Conqueror's Haki, where it is possible, but time to show it is running out. Time is against it. Because Zoro needs to show Conqueror's Haki.
Zoro Conquerors would be hella weird this arc. I'm not gonna lie.
It is. It should have been shown a long time ago if he does have it. And the same thing, Usopp. Growth should have been gradually shown a long time ago. If Oda does plan to give him, sniper feats and all that.
Yeah.
So time is against them. And speaking of Zoro, Oda flashed the three supernovas randomly, which again shows you who. And will I interpret this as Oda showing you the biggest contributor of the war that's gonna come up, which is Kid, Zoro, and Law.
Yeah,
Law case is more important because we all know Law is going somewhere.
Law, yeah.
I think he's meeting with Drake. I think that's where he's going. He's going with Drake.
Yeah, more than likely.
But Beppo in the background. Oh God, no.
Get Beppo out of here. Get him out of here.
Get him out of here. I would have done that. The shown Killer in the background of Kid and Beppo in the background of Law.
I agree.
But anyway, it seemed that they're having a good time. Zoro seemed like he switched to one swords, and Kid is just gripping people. But again,
the thing is, this is what Kid does.
Yeah,
this is how he enjoys himself.
But the thing about that is that the injuries kind of contradict the scenario that is going on right now. It's not that difficult, but yet still.
The thing is, they're fighting a lot of people.
Yeah,
I'm like, for these injuries that they have, are these injuries from the gifters or from Apu?
Well, for Zoro, he does have he has a cut over his neck and kid of blood coming down his mouth. It's just, in my opinion, it's too much. It is too much.
I think Oda's trying to give. Here's the thing. I think normally, right, we would see a few panels of them tussling with a few people, and then it shows okay, how they got here. I believe they're fighting not only regular gifters, but maybe some of the
headliners too. Yeah, we have
headliners, right?
Yeah, they're fighting very strong people.
I think in the anime, we're gonna get full scenes.
Yeah, we're gonna get full scenes, of course.
Yeah, but I think Oda's trying to give us the perception as well that a lot of time has been passing.
Yeah, it's cool. But my issue is that why sacrifice Kid and Zoro here? I mean, Frankie Brook. I mean,
I think we gotta wait and see.
Yeah,
it could make a lot more sense.
I think he's just keeping them there, so when everything goes down,
they're right there.
Exactly, they're near the vicinity to attack. But it is kind of wasteful keeping Zoro and Kid here for like 6 chapters, just fighting some pretty much fodder.
Yeah,
the only way it could actually yield some benefits is if they took out like 300 or 400 out of the 500 gifters. then we could say, yeah, it was a lot of people that they were fighting.
I think by the time they're done, they would have taken out all of them.
Well, I hope so.
Honestly,
this have to be fruitful because they'll be here for Oda have been stalling them for a very long time.
They've been there for a while. Yeah,
for a while. Yeah. Momonosuke is getting inspired by Luffy and his mom Toko, remembering what his name means. It's second to none, and this is kind of thing I don't like about Momonosuke's character and Oda. If he want to go the road where Momonosuke is inspired by Oden, the Habakiri has to be here. That's the biggest way to showcase that he's carrying on the heirloom of the family. If he has the sword, this would have been a much better moment. Could you imagine he's saying that and Kaido panel down to his hip and there should have an Habakiri?
I think
that would have been great.
I think Momo could still wield the sword in this war at some point, possibly.
Like, oh god.
I mean, but he's just not. He's just really young, you know. I think this moment is almost perfect for Momonosuke, just because of not only where he came from, but what happened at the end of the chapter. We'll talk about when it gets in the chapter. But I really enjoyed Momonosuke saying he'll be the Shogun of Wano.
Yeah, that's him again reinforcing that he does have that ambition.
Yeah.
But that should have been complemented with something more than just a speech. It should have been complemented with either him showing them an Habakiri, him using Conqueror's Haki, him transforming into a dragon. The speech alone doesn't really drive it home for me. It should have been something else that really caught Kaido off guard. Like if he had used the Conqueror's Haki here, that would have been great.
But I think the thing is, like, those words, for people that understand what it takes to get to the top, they were scared. Right? Where, like, for Kaido, he was shook.
Yeah, the ambition. Yeah, the ambition.
For those fodder, they're laughing. That's like the Bellamy's, the people who feel like you're just spouting bullshit. I think Kaido knew he meant what he was saying. That's why he got that reaction. You know? So I think this moment for Momonosuke, it's like it took so much to get to this point for Momo. Man, this kid has been through a lot, and he's grown from all these things he's been through.
I just don't like the idea that Momonosuke is only here to drive on the fact that he has grown in terms of he can assert himself. If he wants to be like Oden, speak to the blade. Oden was a swordsman through and through. He's a man who made things happen. If Oda is going to plan the Momonosuke either fight or contribute in terms of some combatic way or do something, it won't really, I wouldn't say useless. It could motivate some people, but we need more than that.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think he needs to shape up.
I think here's the thing.
And for
right.
And one more thing, Brago. People are saying that he's too young. Well, yeah, he is young, but again, remember, at his age, Oden was Oden killed a bear.
He was doing a lot.
He's doing a lot. So it's not like it can't be justified.
Head of the stonemasons, all this stuff.
It can be justified, just that his mentality is just so screwed up. Where he's very passive.
But you know, in situations like this where the popular dad, the famous dad that goes on, who, you know, comes from the gutter and becomes like this, one of the greatest. Their kids and the environment that they're raised in, it's a lot more stable than the one they went through. And Oden, of course, a lot of the things he put himself through was like of his own doing, because his dad, his dad was a shogun. So I think for Momonosuke, he's been kind of coddled.
He has been.
He's been coddled.
He has been.
So I think this harsh reality, he has to. Momonosuke had to adapt to all this in what, a couple months?
Yeah, a couple months or so.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
To be fair, Brago, to be fair,
yeah,
we made the argument about environmental effects on their growth. Like you're saying, like nurture, in the context of nurture. Remember, Momonosuke didn't grow up on a Whitebeard ship. He grew up in a war-torn environment where Whitebeard used to have multiple wars. He grew up on Roger's ship where they travel all over the world. And he was training swordsmanship at a very young age, even with Zoro. So again, I don't think it's hard to justify him being strong. I don't think it's that hard to really make him strong. I think Oda just dropped the ball from early on, and he just can't. He can't do it now because he has failed multiple times. But he could have been competent at least. My God. Remember, Kuina has beaten grown people at his age. Zoro beaten grown people at Momonosuke's age. He could have at least contributed something by being father or something.
I think this is showing that Momo's going a different route, and he can't. And I don't know.
That's it.
It's just you can't be your father, and I think you have to understand that you're not your father. But and that's hard to accept sometimes, that you're not as great as people expect you to be, but you have to be great in your own way.
But the thing about it is that Brago, I think he does have the potential to be greater than Oden, to be quite fair.
I mean, he has, we don't know what the hell he has, but we're just thinking the voice of all things, maybe, I'm not sure.
Of course.
But he has the potential, but we know that people are out there that are late bloomers. And sometimes
where you start, where you finish,
they have to be in situations like that to kind of bloom. So I think Momonosuke, he's been blooming throughout Wano and throughout his time with the Straw Hats. So what I think for him right now, we can't expect Oden level feats from him, because he still has to go through this nurturing stage.
I'm not asking for Oden level feats. I'm merely saying that I don't see a way in which he can contribute to the war just by speaking. Because again, speech won't defeat these enemies.
But I think for this war, motivation and the numbers, like if Momonosuke can turn 5,000 people,
that'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
But again, God, it's like this war isn't marine forward. There are people that are somewhat moderate.
Yeah,
most of these guys are stomped down supporters of each group.
Yeah.
With Momonosuke's side, they so determined that they cut their own ships down because they're not going to return. Kaido's side at the very end is saying, yo, draw your sword. It's a raid. Apart from the samurais and number one true, who can he sway? Can't really make any change via speech. And again, I do understand how important words are. But if you're truly going to be like Oden, speak to the blade. And Oda hasn't developed him in that sense, which is what I kind of hate. And he could have done that with him training with Zoro. That'd have been great. But he left the Hamina Wakuri, and he's too injured not to actually do anything because he's messed up.
Yeah.
So does he even fight this arc?
Maybe.
That's my thing, bro. It's like I get that you are becoming your dad in terms of you saying the same dialogue, you're reinforcing your spirit and all that, but people admire strong people, and to be strong you're gonna have to accomplish some feats, which means you're gonna have to fight. And I don't see him doing that this arc, and that's what kind of disappoints me, because my interpretation of Momonosuke when we first saw him yet in Snatch and all this stuff like that, he's going to take Amina Makuri and accomplish some feat. People thought he could have been the one to kill Kaido. That's how high the expectation was. But no, it fell. It definitely fell. Hopefully got this big. Hopefully you get this big moment where we sway some people or determination, something like that. But I want it to be coupled with something else. That won't be enough, bro. That won't be enough.
I don't know if we're gonna get that.
I mean, could you imagine if Luffy never blocked Sengoku's punch save Ace, and all he did just talk about Ace is the brother? That wouldn't feel like he earned to save him.
I feel like with Luffy though, it's like he had hella help too, you know.
Yeah,
and I feel he's a lot older than Momo.
Yes,
Luffy.
Sure.
I feel like Luffy and Momo, of course, I think they had completely different ways in which they were raised. Where Luffy was kind of just thrown out there, and Momo again, he was coddled. He had his entire family. He was on Whitebeard's ship, but that was a family structure, and I'm sure they kept him away from all danger. You know.
Yeah, it was, but again, Brango, Momonosuke has been training for like 5 years. Dude has been training swordsmanship with Oden, saying he wants to cut people like tofu with his swordsmanship books. Like, what have he gained from that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like 5 years for regular people is not that long.
Nah, bro, come on, bro. Brago, Zoro has been beaten grown adults at Shimotsuki village when he was a boy.
Zoro's built different. Momo and Zoro.
But Momonosuke can be argued to have more potential than Zoro. Like he's the son of
that's
Oden.
What I'm saying, bro. He's a late bloomer.
Oh God.
That's all. He's a late bloomer, man.
Oh my God.
Give him some time. Cut the kid some slack.
Okay. Your argument makes sense your argument do make sense overall, but it would have made more sense, and I'll be more patient. It is a series where we were guaranteed about 10 more years. This is not that series.
True.
One Piece timeline might end in the next 6 months.
Yes.
It doesn't have that time to accomplish these great growth that people are saying that he's going to accomplish.
Yeah,
it's now or never.
Momo's story is like one part of this. Like, it's so many other things happening. You know what I mean?
Even the Peach Boy story for Momotaro. Momotaro went to Onigashima and fought and he fought the Onis. He did something. He didn't just talk.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's a bit of a pet peeve on my part, but I just don't see he's going to get the respect that people want to give him if he doesn't do anything combat-wise. Especially on the arc where we know it's gonna be mainly fighting.
I think this chapter was great for him, bro. I think
great. No, it was definitely great for him, Brago.
But
what happened when this chapter? What happened when this chapter started to die down and people started to forget what he did here?
I think he's gonna keep doing this because I think Oda is gonna highlight that Momo is finally accepting his name instead of trying to live off of being the son of Oden.
But he can't separate being the son of Oden, Brago. He will forever be known as that until he attain a greater feat.
Well, the thing is, that's the thing. Where for him, he's trying to create his own legacy and not just live off of that name, right?
Then that Oda went the wrong way by giving Oden sword. Then Oda never gave him Oden sword. So gave him a different sword.
I think you can create your own legacy even though you have a great father and you're inheriting his will, but you just don't want to be known just as the son of Oden.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean? So I think that's
fair.
Oda's going with Momonosuke.
But Oda, I'll say this: Oda have very limited time to give Momonosuke some shine. Again, the time frame of One Piece doesn't help him at all. He's way too young.
What would you like? What do you think would be appropriate for Momo? Tell me a feat.
Well, what I assume. Okay, so I have to go back from the very beginning of the series, not the series, but Wano. If Oda started off where Zoro and Momonosuke would have been training where they're learning, where they're both gaining and growing, it wouldn't be hard to argue that he probably could do a technique, and I would see him doing it against let's say Hote. If the person is damaged, he could finish him off. That'd have been great.
Yeah,
but I don't even see that because remember, Brago, he doesn't have his sword. He has no weapons. That's the point that's so fun. Like he doesn't even have his sword. He refused to take the Hamina Habakiri.
I think he didn't feel like he was worthy.
That's still, oh God, man, come on, bro. You're telling me that Zoro would know Zoro could Zoro could take Enma. Momonosuke couldn't take Amenomakiri. Oh god.
Yeah, he's growing up. He's growing up.
He is growing up, but I don't see his character getting respected the way people want it to get respected if he doesn't do anything comedy wise. Remember, Brago, there are multiple people who have moments like these, but when 20, 30 chapters hits and they don't do anything impressive or more than what they did before this, people are gonna keep complaining again, say, well, what has he done so far? And this war, the accomplishment will be weighted in how many or what type of person you beat. I don't think you can talk your way into a double in this arc, bro. I don't think so.
Yeah, we'll see.
When the feats start coming in, no one's gonna compare a speech to an attack. No one's doing that. He's not Kobe.
Sometimes those speeches be hitting, bro.
Those speeches do be hitting, Brago. But again, it's the quality of people that we're talking about here. He's not going to sway anyone important. He cannot sway King. He won't sway Queen. He won't sway Jack.
Let's revisit this Momonosuke conversation once the arc goes on.
Once the arc goes on, I would definitely revisit it.
But like, see, I told you.
But you would have to agree that he could have been better, though. He could have been.
He could have been, but I'm not minding. I don't mind this origin story for Momo.
Okay, well, I don't really mind it either, but. Yeah. I would want more going forward. I hope we get more going forward. So so anyway, this shows the characterization for Luffy here is pretty great. He's not bar rushing anymore.
Yeah,
he's comfortable. Exactly. And again, it could be inferred to be future side because he could have seen. Yeah,
he said that we're not the ones who start this battle, which I'm like, it's almost insane. But Luffy is starting to, kind of look at the situations a bit more to understand, sometimes it's not about me, right? Where we have to be somewhat diplomatic, right? Like how Jinbei mentioned in Fishman Island.
Yes, sometimes I have to lead things to other people who might have a better chance of doing things that you can't do.
Yeah.
But in this
impact
case,
might be greater, even though the result would be the same. They would have a great impact if they're the ones who do it.
It remind me of the Avatar where people wanted the Firelight brother Hyra to take him out, but he's saying that his Avatar did to do it because the Avatar would make more sense because people would see it very differently.
Yeah.
But in this case, so I'm worried for the Scabbards because typically in shonen or any fiction, whenever characters start off on a strong foot, they don't typically end on a strong foot. They don't typically end on a strong foot.
Them going after Kaido, it's a great moment. It's a lot of beautiful things that happened.
It is.
From King getting his sword sniped by Izo, Kaido getting his fucking mace. What is that called?
Scabbards.
Yeah,
getting knocked out by Nekomushi.
That was impressive as hell. And then I think Kaido didn't expect the pressure that they brought.
No.
That I feel like for him, he's like, come on, like y'all can't do anything. And then that pressure, that inherited will, that overpowered Kaido. Right? And I think we have to also look at the fact that Kaido is built up as the world's strongest creature. And these people, they don't have as much acclaim, nearly as much acclaim as Kaido.
Nope.
And here they come and they overpowered Kaido. Now the Snatchy thing, that's really important because in chapter 950, I believe they explain
explain what Snatch mean.
What that means, right? And for them is basically casting away your name, right? And leaping before you think. Right, just leaping, just going and doing it, and because they said that people, when they value themselves too much, they become cowards who take no risks. So they know that this is a risk. But when we talked about Ashura Doji earlier, and as to why it would make more sense for him to do it and be the one to stab Kaido, is because his men, or the men that left to challenge Kaido, that's what they said. They said Tsunachi, and then obviously they died. They never came back. And for Ashura Doji, he cried off of that. So for them shouting Snatch at the end of this chapter, it'd have been great to see him be one to land a hit on Kaido as a payback for his men.
Okay. Could we admit that if Ashura Doji would have been the one to snatch Kaido's weapon off his hands, it'd have been more understandable?
It would have. But I don't know what's coming next chapter with Nekomamushi.
Yeah, because Kaido hand is in
Kaido
his face.
has him in his hand.
In his face. Okay, so down the word Snatchy, it's a bit weird because the person who are saying it here are all from different region of Wano country, and Snatcher isn't really a phrase that Wano itself use. It's a Kuri dialect. So it's a phrase that we first got introduced to via Zoro, which we got it from him via Kozaburo, because Oda's SPS, if the Kozaburo is one who taught Zoro the first, it's himself. So when Oda said on the Kozaburo left Wano country because of a great incident, I'd imagine that he had that phrase in mind where he tossed away his name, tossed away what he was doing, and they left and formed somewhere different.
Yeah.
So again, will this phrase be a warrior cry? Will this phrase be a reinforcement of spirit going forward in Wano country? Or is it like a one-time
Absolutely
use?
I think it's going to be a thing going forward.
Going to be a thing.
So something we also have to think about is how this ties into Momo.
I don't think he will say it because he contradicts his own.
Remember, Kiku told him not to say it. Remember that?
Yeah, because it makes sense. Because again, he's royalty. So
Kiku,
for him,
but the thing is, Kiku never explained that. Kiku's just like, you just can't say it. That's not something you can say.
It's a bad word,
right?
Okay, so it's our interpretation then. Okay, so I will say, in my view, it's because of the fact that his name is worth something. His name is a name of a group that have pretty much defined Wano country and have ruled it even back 800 years. So him throwing away his name, he's throwing away the legacy that came before him.
And his name specifically means second to none. So
exactly.
If he casts away his name, and for him, if he leaps before he thinks, that could have lasting impacts, a lasting impact on Wano, right? So for them doing this is even more I think it's even more symbolic. Yeah,
they're the sacrificial palm, so they can toss away.
They can do that. They're willing to do that as retainers of Oden, as the Scabbards. That they feel like that's their duty, and they are going to do it. So Momonosuke doesn't have to.
Okay, that's fair. But then they come back to Zoro. Like, is him saying statue in the past? No. I just remember something. Zoro never said statue at all. He never said it. No. When he told Momonosuke about Snatch, he said that he never said it because he told him in chapter 955. So could this be an inferral that Zoro ordered to make Zoro cast away his name because it's very important as well? Because he never said it before. Because in chapter 955, Momonosuke told Zoro that Okiku said it's a bad word, and Zoro said he heard it from different people, but he never said it himself. In terms of him saying it, in a war or in a situation where. So again, Oda inferred that Zoro lineage is tied to Kozaburo, which means Zoro could be Shimotsuki. Is this Oda's way of saying Zoro should cast away his name as well?
It could be. That could be it because, like you said, Zoro said he's never said it himself.
He never said it himself, yeah.
So that could be a tie that Zoro's name actually matters. And that was part of the reason why they didn't he never picked that up, or why Oda didn't make him pick it up, because it makes sense if he was a kid. The older, stronger elders, if they're saying it, why wouldn't he say it? But he never said it. So, and then for Zoro, Roronoa Zoro, it's like there has to be more to him.
Yeah, Oda kind of inferred that, like, what does Kozaburo has to do with Zoro's lineage?
Yeah, there has to be a bit more. So,
but I find it to be very weird though that Zoro could recommend the method of casting away your will, but he himself never actually said it.
Yeah, Yeah, he never said it.
Isn't that a bit contradictory? It is a bit contradictory. Or does it know that it works or that it's threatening Zero will if he himself never said it? So I wonder if Oda, in the time that he has Zoro told Momonosuke about Snatch, he changed his mind where he twists Zoro's story where before Zoro was supposed to be a regular person.
Now it's like we can.
Oh no, yeah, he's very important, so he can't really say it. Because again, him saying I've never said it.
Yeah, he's never.
Him saying I never said it before is insane.
Yeah, even though it's like you're an impressionable kid and you don't say something that strong swordsmen are saying.
Exactly, especially someone who should be like older men in your village, because Kozoburo would be like a mentor to Zoro.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if, again, it's very telling. Is this Oda's way of saying that Zoro's name is so important that he can't cast it away?
That's possible.
That's very interesting.
Well,
it wouldn't be surprised if Momonosuke said it in the very end, or if Zoro said it at the very end. It wouldn't surprise me, but unless they won't say it.
Unless going forward, Snatchy becomes a battle cry in Wano and just a theme of Wano, where an issue in Wano has always been you kind of pay for the sins of your fathers.
Yes, the Kurozumi.
Yes. I'm assuming that I forget exactly what Izo and them were, but I don't think they ever said. But
they died. Was prosecuted. Yeah,
right. He was prosecuted, and could it be a new age in Wano where basically name doesn't matter?
Oh, you're not defined by your lineage. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, then.
Right, where for them, where Sanachi is like, yo, you're throwing it all away, and at this point they're sacrificing it all for Wano. Could that be the future of Wano, where everybody's on an even playing field, and we're not gonna hold these people hostage or basically hold them to the fire just because they're Kurozumi? Because that started all this shit.
Yeah, it did start all this shit. I mean, to be fair, Orochi did have a point where revenge was kind of justified. He was persecuted all of his life, so in his sense, in his mind, it made sense.
So
what you say is very interesting, though, Brago. That's very, very interesting. Where Snatcher could actually be a symbol that unified everyone under one accord.
Absolutely,
that would be great. But again, it wouldn't work because of the hierarchy. Because again, the Shogun is the one that's supposed to be above everyone, and the Dynamo should be above everyone.
They're gonna continue having this system.
Well, Momonosuke wants to be the Shogun.
He wants to be the Shogun, but I think a Shogunate can operate even if there is a regular government.
Do you think? Okay, I do get what you're saying.
Where what if the people appoint the Shogun?
Like a democracy, people start to vote. Well, it could go that way, but given the lineage of Momonosuke and his Kozuki Tai, I doubt it, but it could go that way.
I just feel like obviously how things are going, that way doesn't work.
Okay,
it doesn't work. It leads to it leads to, like, say Orochi that isn't dead, and Orochi comes and he helps, and he has a kid. Is this kid just going to be persecuted throughout Wano because he's a Kurozumi?
More than likely, yes. But again, it depends. It depends who's leading. Momonosuke could grant that kid amnesty and just say, you know what, he's not guilty for his father's crimes.
Yeah.
Because God, now that you mention it, the Kurozumi were targeting the Kozuki because of Sukiyaki, because Sukiyaki's birth was the one that spoiled the grandfather's plan to take over Wano.
Yeah.
So the Kurozumi isn't entirely innocent. I mean, they did plan to do something very bad, but at the exact same time,
but that's because of the system they had.
Yeah,
it's just like
exactly one person. One group is doing this and that.
Where
I do get it.
Like, I don't know if those other royal families come back with the Yamatsuki, Kurozumi, Shimotsuki.
No, they seem very passive towards the Kozuki. The only clan that ever seemed to be like outspoken like the Kurozumi is the Shimotsuki, where
Shimotsuki.
Shimotsuki. They're the only clan that's kind of outspoken.
Yeah, we don't know.
But you are right, though.
Matsuki was like Toki and those people, right? That was
Mantoki pretty much told Oden that she was
there to serve him.
There to serve him, yeah. So We could talk a little more on King because people are up in people are the memes about King. Let me explain this, bro. Chapters like these where the fights and the scenes are structured in where a character that we assume to be strong look compromised in an ending panel doesn't do justice to what they could do the next chapter. Well, let me explain. If this happened at the beginning of the chapter where King have about 14 or 15 pages to make up for what we perceive to be a weakness, or most people say a L, it would have been perceived different at the end of the chapter. But because it's happened at the very end, he get no chance to redeem himself. Like imagine this. Look at the way we perceive chapter 834 where Luffy punched Cracker.
Mm-hmm.
And we perceive that there was blood coming out of Cracker's mouth and he was done. If that had happened at the beginning of the chapter, we'd have seen Cracker came out of that biscuit, cut Luffy's arm, and that blood would have been jam.
Yeah.
I would have a different perception of what actually went down. Where I still think King can redeem himself because he's blocking with his feet. If you look careful, he's blocking with his feet.
Yeah.
And his sword should still be very near close by. So don't put your hopes up in the fact that he's completely defeated or this Oda showing King a bad light. It's more of a temporary situation.
Yeah, I agree. This
and let me give you
go ahead.
And one more example as well. Let's say Ichiji attacked Katakuri at the end of the chapter and they cut away. We'd have been calling Katakuri trash for 1 week until we finally saw what happened at the next page. Here's what I mean, like the chapter that are structured in a way where the ending panel is the one that made the character look weak.
Yeah.
Don't do them justice to what would happen later on. Because I 100%, I'm very, very sure that Kaido gonna turn this around easily.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the Scabbards are not gonna be looking this good next chapter. No.
It seems the goal of this chapter was despair.
Yes.
Right? To show that, you know, when they all come together, throwing everything away, taking that risk, they can land a blow.
But again, at what cost?
That's the
Nekomushi's in Kaido's hands. They're very close to three strong people. If you remember in chapter 970, King and Queen defeated Scabbards by themselves. So again, don't get too carried away. I think these are characters that they've beaten before.
People have to understand, because people are like, "Oh my God, I told you Katakuri is way stronger than King." I'm like, guys,
no. Guys. Is it possible? Sure. And I do think Katakuri have more to the story than King, because again, Katakuri is a Yonko candidate.
Yeah. Like
the story built Katakuri to a sense where it could replace Big Mom. King and Marco doesn't really have that anymore because Whitebeard is gone and the Whitebeard pirates are separated, and King most likely won't succeed Kaido because Kaido doesn't have a relationship with King. But Katakuri could very well be stronger than most people think that he is. But currently, yeah, King could be stronger. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, I think King is, again, I don't agree with this, but people have Rio on a different level than Future Sight, where they think Rio is a lot more important because it can hurt top tiers. I think Future Sight is such an amazing ability.
Two things here. One, we're assuming that Katakuri's advanced ornament Haki can compete with Rio, which is crazy. He definitely can. Katakuri's abilities is insane because remember, he's not attacking you physically. He's punching you through something. Yes. So you can't physically block his attack and hurt him.
Yes.
You have to block his attack, then hurt his body.
Yes.
And secondly, I think people place more value ornament Haki in general, that Haki type, because it's been shown that once you're strong ornament Haki, then someone you most likely will win a battle. But I do agree with you though. In terms of what matters more, speed or strength, if you cannot hit someone, you being strong is pretty much useless.
Yeah. Because people always said that, well, Kaido was doing the same thing to Katakuri when they did to Luffy. I'm like, they fight completely differently. Katakuri would not get hit by the Thunder
No.
Agua.
Remember, the personality is different too, and then Oda made it clear that Luffy was very, very hungry.
Yeah, exactly.
People need to understand this. In that moment, Luffy was fighting under perception that Tama was most likely dead.
Yeah, everybody, a lot of it, like pretty much.
Could you imagine how he felt in that moment?
Yeah, it felt like his crew. He lost his crew.
He was enraged, and exactly, his crew was perceived to be dead too.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't really judge future sight in terms of until we see Luffy be calm in the situation.
And we cannot automatically shit on King because Izo shot the bullet, the sword out of his hand, and I feel like we have to kind of just regurgitate this, but Izo is a commander as well. He's not a 16 commander, but Izo is a commander as well. This bare minimum is not far-fetched. It's
not far-fetched, but again, Brago, and next thing as well, King didn't anticipate Izo to beat her. Remember, Izo is a newly recruit in terms of on the Beast Pirate perception. Remember, they never fought Izo 20 years ago.
Right.
They never came when Izo was there.
They didn't know anybody had long range.
That's what I'm about to say again. So King never anticipated somebody might have a long range attack as well. And there's no way they'll do a flying slash there with Nekomushi's. I'm no Momonosuke so close. So King probably guessed it wrong. Yeah. But as I said, in the same panel where Nekomushi knocked Kaido's cloak out of his hand, it's not as bad as it looks. I mean,
it's not.
It is an L, but it's not as ridiculous.
Like I said, you can have fun with it, but don't use this for power scaling because it means nothing.
Exactly. Don't draw permanent conclusion from temporary situations. Because trust me, we're gonna have tens of these as we go forward in arc. You're gonna have one scene that makes Zoro look fucking weak. You're gonna have one scene that make Luffy like he can't be Kaido at all. You're gonna have one scene that make Kaido look he's weak. Like, again, it's a 14 to 17 page manga, and depending on what page stuff happens, you have to wait until next week to see the conclusion, or at least see the progression of what's going on.
Right.
So always remember that there's a possibility that the characters might bounce back given how they leave the previous chapter. As I said, how would we perceive Ichiji's strength for 1 week if he attacked Katakuri at the end of the chapter? Would have 1 week to be saying, oh shit, he's super strong. But it happened in the middle of the chapter where Katakuri mopped him up.
But look at
the next page.
Even in the final panel, he doesn't have his sword. He's still blocking Izo's shots and Kawamatsu's slashes.
That is with his foot. And it looks like he's creating like a real barrier because his arm.
That's what I'm saying.
His arm is extended. It
looks like it's a barrier there.
It is, but the reason why I say his leg is because his leg is kind of extended out. His right leg is kind of. Oh well, no. It could be a real barrier for real because his leg is in sync.
Real barrier.
Could be a real barrier. Yeah, could be. Well, again, I'll be surprised if he doesn't bounce back next chapter.
Bro, they're absolutely bouncing back.
Then yeah, definitely bounce back. I mean, edit a cry, so
they're absolutely bouncing
back.
Yeah,
edit a cry for a reason. But how do you think? Do you think Kaido really cut? Or I don't think so.
It looks like Kinemon penetrated. It looks like Kanjuro penetrated. But the only person that I could say could possibly do it is maybe Ashura and Denjiro.
Yep.
But because Kinemon is here and it looks like it penetrated, I don't think any of them did.
No, I don't think they did it as well. And again, as you spoke about it before, Kaido PTSD of Oden.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think anything.
Is this like a confirmation that he might freak out if he actually does see Enma? Because again, that's a whole more personal weight than does seeing the 9 Scabbards.
Yes. It should. I don't know about freaking out, but he should notice.
He should have a flashback of seeing the sword.
Yeah, he should notice.
Oh God, I'm praying for Zoro because if Kaido comes off of him 1-on-1, that is
yeah, he may be enraged.
That is because again, right here, Oden disappears in his mind, never come back to Wano, and that the scene where Oden's about to chop off his head before he got tricked by the old lady.
Yeah.
Okay, well, again, the only thing I can say is that do not draw permanent conclusion from temporary situations. We all saw chapter 570, chapter 571. Ace is free. Next chapter, let the port the Ace. Don't play with Oda. And for those who are saying that Kaido is going to drop into the water, I mean, Kaido is massive, man. I mean, the water is not that deep. Luffy is beneath that because we can see that the environment below has been torn apart because the bridge is gone. So that means that it's been somebody that I've been fighting for. So he's gonna drop right into Luffy. And Big Mom is there too. Yeah. So prediction for next chapter. Are you assuming when I'm assuming that Oda is gonna make sure everyone come around this? Where this might be the focal point for the war.
Oh yeah. I agree with that.
Okay, because I assume that this is gonna be where the war is gonna really start.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I think that's what's gonna happen. I think because I was saying everybody's gonna converge at that spot anyway, and now it's like, you know, who's pulling up. Ulti's pulling up. Luffy, Yamato's right there. Zoro Kid and Law, they should be right because Law went up the back way, so he should be close to there. Everybody should be convergent at that point.
At that one point, plus again, you have to assume that Sanji's very close by because of his invisibility.
Yes. So yes, this is gonna be where it all pops off, right here.
Are you with me where you think Sanji's looking for Nami and company, or you think he's just gonna it's gonna go for Momonosuke?
I think having Sanji go off for some women and not come back with anything, it would seem like just a waste of time.
Yep.
So I feel like Sanji has to have some mission or something going on over there to justify him being away for that long.
That makes sense.
Because if he just comes back, it's like, well, you could have been there with Nami and them, right? Like, why did you? Like, what the hell was that?
But then again, what woman can he go after significant apart from Black Maria? And he won't fight Black. He won't fight Black Maria, so.
Right.
Is there anything that he can actually do off screen? The only thing that I could actually think of is if Sanji runs into the Poneglyph. That would have been great.
That'd be cool.
He runs in with Brook, and they copy it. Get it out of the way.
Yeah. No, that would be dope. But I'm not sure if he. I'm not sure if Ford is gonna go that route.
I don't think so either, but it's a possibility because I'm looking for anything to justify why Sun is away for so long.
Yeah,
he's been away for a very long time.
We need a justification.
We need something to be justified why he's away for so long. Brooke and Frankie, I understand because they're gonna deck. They're gonna dot the Sunny. The fucking tank at the back of the Onigashima. So it makes sense for them to be taking so long to get here.
Yeah.
But for Sanji, I don't know what he could possibly doing that could be taking this long.
I really don't know.
But hopefully next chapter, Who's is finally here. And he's not running away like he did before. And
yeah.
Hopefully it'll make next chapter very emotional, because if it makes the editor cry, then I'm expecting some top tier shit.
We'll see how it goes. We'll definitely see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes.
I expect it to be a really good chapter, though.
What do you feel about Oda making Queen and Jack an afterthought here, where we didn't even see them? Like King and Kaido are the only two relevant persons that they disarmed, or they did something to.
It's just a portrayal of the right hand.
Yeah, it is portrayal of the right hand. Like they're not even there.
Yeah. Or like, we know Jack is strong, we know Queen is strong, but now it's King time.
Yeah, it's King time. Which is one reason why I believe the next chapter, trust me, people are gonna learn next chapter.
What if King solos all the Scabbards?
That is a bit insane. But as I said, what if I said before, King and Queen would want to defeat the Scabbards back in the day, and the only one who made improvement, at least only two made improvement, are Nekomushi. Sure. No, only four that makes improvement: are Nekomushi, Inarashi, Ashidoji, and Denjiro. Yeah. So it would be pretty impossible for him to do that, because Nekomushi and Inarashi and Denjiro and Ashidoji are very strong.
Yeah, and
they fought off Kaido, so that pretty much shows you how strong they are. But King, for him to get a great feat, Oda have to have him completely destroy someone. Like if he destroy Izo, that would have been great. That would be great.
No, it would.
Or maybe if he just do the Haki barrier and we see that he's not affected by losing his sword, that would also be great.
I would like to see Rio. If we saw Rio,
yeah,
that'd be dope. I'm not gonna lie.
He most likely he's gonna have it because again, it's a Wano territory.
Yeah,
he's right hand. Oda this arc revolver on him in Haki, so he most likely might have it.
I can't.
What I'm looking forward to is Kaido and him getting pierced. Because if he is pierced again, what does that say about Luffy? I mean, he punched this guy around 10 million times and no damage at all.
Yeah.
Nekomamushi disarm him. Kinemon pierce him. If he does pierce him, Denjiro pierce him. Damn.
Yeah, if all those actually pierced him and no damage, it's like
I don't think they cause any damage.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think
but okay, predictions. What do you think goes down next week? They all get defeated?
They're all defeated badly.
Yeah, I think so. They all get badly defeated.
Badly.
And maybe they sacrifice themselves for Momonosuke.
Yeah. Somebody saves Momonosuke, but the Scabbards, I think we might lose one.
I wouldn't mind if we lose a couple.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind if we lose a couple. I wouldn't mind if we lose a couple at all. Because I'm thinking like, what are they needed for when Onigashima is done?
Yeah. Well, just because they're gonna live in Wano anyway, so I don't.
They're gonna do anything that much.
Yeah.
The only person that I think might be necessary for the guidance of Momonosuke is probably Huguro. If he survives and serves as an advisor, that'd be great.
Yeah. And I think Kawamatsu probably survives.
Kawamatsu survives. Fishman Island plot or what? Okay.
Yeah. I think he probably does.
Maybe.
Other than that, I don't see. There's no real relevance for these people past Wano.
Mm-hmm. And shout out to Inarashi. He's clashing with Queen, I assume, because Queen is on that side.
Yeah.
So he's clashing with Queen. And
it's a great panel. Yeah. Love that panel.
And who gave Raizo a sword?
Nimpo.
Where did he get a sword from?
Didn't he use his Nimpo?
Do what? Make a sword?
He had a scroll. He had a scroll in his mouth. So I think
he
summoned a sword.
So he made
he summoned a sword, yeah.
Well, I mean, shit. Okay. Okay, I mean, if he's doing that, then that's good.
Yeah, he summoned a sword. That's what it looks like.
Oh, God. I'm just hoping next chapter is amazing.
It will.
I hope Oda walks that fine line of making the Scabbards competent, but don't shit on the beast pirates as well.
It will be amazing. I feel it. I feel like it's going to be fantastic.
Well, just make sure we get this out a bit quicker than we're supposed to, because they're going to be spoilers very soon.
Facts. Yeah, we'll be out. We'll drop it tomorrow.
Yeah. This one's really the best one because again we're tired, but still at least we got it out. The main thing is to be consistent.
Absolutely. So for people, make sure you like, subscribe. I'll put Lando's channel below.
I don't make any videos, man. You don't gotta subscribe.
You don't gotta subscribe. And his Twitter below if you want to follow him for his.
The Twitter. Twitter is much better. Follow
interesting ideas. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on this. You know, we do this every week. Sometimes on my channel.
You should follow because I drop the videos there sometime as well. So,
yeah. So thank you guys for the support. Again, like, subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next one.